I'm so blown away by how easily emotionally manipulated most people are. Set aside your political affiliation, the way that you believe you lean, and how you look at the world, and let's just look at a single individual situation that happened recently and see how people seem to mess this one up. Whether you like Joey Choco Chip or you hate Donnie Ballpark or whatever, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to acknowledge that there is a statistically outrageous surge of people that are trying to illegally migrate to the United States via our southern border. Okay, so let's assume that you're rational enough to believe in just pure facts and statistics. Not why they're here, just that they're here. So you acknowledge that there's an unprecedented surge, hundreds of thousands of people pouring over the southern border illegally. When we do have a legal migration process, there are plenty of ports of entry. There are plenty ways to legally migrate to the United States. It may not be in the expedient manner that you may want right now. And of course, these people, there's processes for asylum and a variety of other things, but these people are illegally crossing. They're not even trying to go the normal route. They're just doing it illegally. And if there's other places in the world that you could go other than here, but they're choosing here. Let's just all agree on just that. Now, most of us understand why they're here, what they're coming here for. The vast majority of the time, it's economic prosperity, not to save themselves from some oppressive government structure. And even though that may be the case, let's not even bring that into the equation. Let's forget about why they're here and just acknowledge that they're here and go with that. Okay, so far so good. We're on the same page, I hope. What happened with this photo of these horses rounding up these Haitian migrants and trying to prevent them from illegally crossing into the United States is probably the most obvious and blatant emotional manipulation that I have seen in recent months. Now, these are happening at a faster clip than I've ever seen in my entire life, but this specific one is so easy to break up and break down that I can't understand how any living person, any living human, Homo sapiens sapien on the planet of actual human Earth can look at this and be like, nah, it's what they're saying it is. The vast majority of people living in the Western world have a video camera. Not only a video camera, a high definition video camera, higher quality than most production level TV cameras, even as early as 15 years ago, in their pocket at all times. There was nearly 24/7 coverage down at the border, including Cloud News Network cameras, literally TV network cameras sitting at this crossing by this river where this photograph was taken. Professional grade, HD, 1080p, 4K, high definition, multiple cameras, multiple angles, shooting video all the time. So what ends up happening is a border patrol agent, which many of whom are people of color themselves, was photographed at just the right angle, at just the right moment, with his horse reins in his hand to make it look as if he was supposedly whipping this migrant that was trying to illegally avert capture, avert being turned back, and run right by him to escape into the interior of the United States illegally. Now, despite the fact that there are all these cameras and all these photographers and all of these angles and all of these video recordings, even of this specific incident, this one photo at just the right angle gets then blown up around the world, sent to every major news outlet, wall-to-wall coverage across the planet. The mainstream media outlets blow this up, capture all that money from people being mad, people being outraged, people being divided, stoking the divide between black and white, the division between races, the division between people that think that everybody should be able to just walk right on over the border, and the other people that think that these people should be vetted, that you should get in line, that you should follow a process, that you should do it legally, that you should be vetted, that you should be welcomed in after following the legal process. So then all the pundits and all the do-nothing politicians come out and feign outrage. You got Maxine Sewers coming out and comparing this photo and this action to slavery, saying that it's worse than slavery. You have Mayorkas, the Secretary of Homeland Security, coming out and saying that this hurts him deeply. You have Vice President Krusty coming out and saying that this hurt her deeply, and there's going to be a thorough investigation because of how horrible this is. Mayorkas and others compared this to systemic racism. They all screamed and yelled, talked about how unjust this was, how disgusting this was. No human being deserves to be treated in this way. Straight out of Krusty's face. Even these people just so outraged by this event. And then within days, it comes out that those are horse reins. No law enforcement agency, no law enforcement agent, no police officer, nobody is equipped with a whip in 2020. No one carries a whip. This guy didn't have a whip. The picture wasn't of a whip. There was no whip. It's obvious. You can look at it. So then they changed it to, well, the horse reins were being used like a whip. They were using horse reins as a whip. This is also not true. Any person that just goes and watches the video can clearly see that that is not what happened. This did not occur. You can watch the video. The problem is that the video is hard to find. Why is it hard to find? Because they don't want you to see it. But anybody that sees it sees that that's a pure and simple lie. Even the ghost of Joey Choco Chip Corn Pop was a bad dude came out and said, it's outrageous. I promise you, these people will pay. Speaking about the border agents that were doing their job and not doing what all of these mainstream news outlets and clueless, emotionally manipulated people are suggesting they did. The photographer even came out and said, this is not what happened. I did not witness this. My photo is being misconstrued, and that is a lie. The person that took the photo said that that's not what happened. But they don't care. So the video proves it's not real. Any person looking at it and understanding it's not real, calling it a whip is not real. Any person that knows anything about horses is not real. Any understands it's not real. Any person that waited 48 hours for the facts of a story to come out knows it's not real. Yet every mainstream news outlet, every online website, everything, every single outlet pushed it, pumped it, compared it to things that were far, far worse, lied straight to your face, got all the clicks, got all the money, got all the viewership, created all the outrage, created all the divide, furthered the racism narrative, and by then the damage was done. And then what do as a result? They banned the horses. They say that they can't use horses anymore. Okay, now what? So this is some rough terrain to get out to where these people are crossing illegally. What are they going to have to do now? Well, they're going to have to use, what, ATVs? Well, an ATV is a gas-powered vehicle. They got all these rules about, you could put gas in it. So how are they supposed to do it? He's going to walk out there? If you were a border control agent and you knew there was cameras around, what are you going to do next time? You're going to be like, let them go, let them walk, let them go. You might as well just let them stroll right on in. Unvetted, untested, unchecked, not from anywhere. And then they're saying, oh, they're from Haiti, There's thousands of discarded identification cards and papers on the other side of the river that prove that many of these people weren't even from Haiti. They're from Chile or a variety of other countries. But all the people know that once they cross over, having no papers at all will be much easier on them as they move into the U.S. than if people knew that they were safely housed in other countries. But they don't want you to know that. And all these people are supposedly carrying all their worldly possessions, and they're on foot. They look like they're coming from a place that's not very good. They're carrying crates of just their clothes and their belongings, whatever they can carry. Yeah, you mean to tell me that these people are walking on foot from Haiti, an island? What did they fly there with wings? But the big point of it all, where I hope that any sentient person could hopefully agree, is that them being as outraged about this theoretical incident that literally did not occur, that was lied to, point blank, proven wrong, within hours, within days, shown, video evidence. They showed you a photo instead of the videos because they knew that would get that result. They knew they could emotionally manipulate people, and they knew the damage would be done. If you didn't do any research, look for that video, research it more, actually care other than yelling at people, you just went online and you're probably still believing this today. And what is most remarkable of all is that the people that are supposedly outraged about this, even the ones that got emotionally manipulated by what they saw on TV and in the news, they're all outraged. Oh, and Krusty's all outraged and Joe's all outraged. How about the 15,000 people or whatever it was that were living under a bridge? How about the 200,000 people that are illegally migrating here? How about the people that are literally in cages? How about the border overflow? How about all of those situations? How about all of that? How about the migrants that are attacking Border Patrol agents, biting them on planes, attacking agents in camps? Look it up. There's horrible things that are happening. How about the people that got droned overseas in that country that we just left? How about all them? How about those children that got popped? This is what you're outraged about when there's all this other stuff? That's what you're going to go get mad about? 10,000 some odd people living under a bridge illegally, migrating here, people getting droned at another and this thing that's not a thing is what you get mad about. It just goes to show how emotionally manipulated people are. This is like somebody tripping somebody in the mud and being outraged and making it a top-level news story when right next to them 150 people just got hit by a tractor trailer truck. Here's Maxine Dumpsters right here. Used whips. September. Look, bringing Donnie into it. Look at this. Treated like animals. Here she is again, yesterday, still talking about it. Yesterday, after the truth has come out. You got clowns like this dude. What's his name? I need his name now. What are you gonna do about it, Sean? All the outrage about that, but none of the outrage about this.
Are passionate, are concerned as we are about the images that we have seen.
Concerned.
Is one, we feel those images are horrible.
Horrible.
There is an investigation the president certainly supports, overseen by the Department of Homeland Security, which he has conveyed will happen quickly. I can also convey to you that the secretary also conveyed to civil rights.
Convey.
This morning that we would no longer be using horses.
No horses.
So that is something, a policy change that has been made in response. But
as you saw, to see people treated like they did, horses barely running them over, people being strapped, it's outrageous. I promise you, those people will pay. They will be an investigation underway now, and there will be consequences.
The horses didn't nearly run them over. It wasn't horrible. And how do they expect them to do their job? What do you think happens when you apprehend people, dog?
I am pissed.
No, you're not.
What I saw of Border Patrol people on horseback beating Haitian people.
What we all saw at the border was despicable.
This lady.
Shocking to our conscience.
They called a press conference for this. Shocking, pissed, horrible. They don't even care about the 7 children that just got popped by accident overseas. These people are liars. They are such grifters. It's so obvious. Look at this mentally deranged person feign outrage over nothing.
I'm pissed. I'm unhappy, and I'm not just unhappy with the cowboys who were running down Haitians and using their reins to whip them.
Nope.
I'm happy with the administration. We are following the Trump policy.
Donnie.
He is the one that does not follow the Constitution.
Nope.
And would not allow those seeking refuge to be able to petition to get into the country. What the hell are we doing here? What we witnessed takes us back hundreds of years. What we witnessed was worse than what we witnessed in slavery.
Worse!
With their reins again, whipping black people, Haitians, into the water where they're scrambling and falling down when all they're trying to do is escape.
But no, they only show you that. They don't show you this.
I'd like to show you another video, if we could, where we saw actually one man start to be swept down the river. He was clearly not a good swimmer. Several Haitian migrants went in after him to try and help him, but ultimately it was the Border Patrol. Several agents on the other side of the river who took a line, threw it into the river, and they were ultimately able to help that man, that migrant, get out of the water.
And that story of those people being saved by Border Patrol, that was on Clown News Network. So it's like, it's not all bad all the time. It most of the time is, but it's a good thing that they showed that footage. Yet people are already mad, are already outraged, the damage is already done. So now that the truth has come out, it doesn't even matter because the narrative, the outrage, that already happened. That's already past tense. And this is how they emotionally manipulate people. And 6 months from now, all people will remember is that they got whipped. But nope, 1 day ago, USA Today. Wow. Like cattle. MSNBC, whip, lie. There it is. Forbes, Yahoo, defends, come on. Krusty.
What I saw depicted about those individuals on horseback treating human beings the way they were is horrible. And I fully support what is happening right now, which is a thorough investigation into exactly what is going on there. But human beings should never be treated that way. And I'm deeply troubled about it.
Deeply troubled. Liars. Emotional manipulation at scale. Outrage and divisiveness for nothing. All the mainstream news outlets, all the websites, all the magazines, they all got paid. And what happened to all of us? Divided, angry, stoked the fear. Politicians jumping on board, feigning outrage, calling press conferences, raising their political stock on your outrage. This is a black and white, obvious, no pun intended, a black and white, obvious situation. This is as clear as day, but nobody cares. This is what happens every single time.